Ready? Okay. All right, Mattie, you take it away. Are we ready, timekeepers? Okay, so for the first, you'll have 2 minutes to introduce yourself, 1 minute for each question, except for the final question is a three-parter, so you'll have 2 minutes. And Mattie can announce that it's on her sheet.
All right, let's get started. The Mass Senior Action Council has been collaborating with the Assessor's Office to reduce property taxes for individuals on fixed incomes. Together, we have worked to broaden and execute abatement programs. However, the Assessor's Office has limitations on what they can manage. We're not opposed to fair taxation. We recognize that our tax fund.
Oh, Mattie, wait, you get 2 minutes to tell who they are.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to start answering. I was ready. Hello, everyone. I'm Jean Micheal Fana. It's a pleasure to be here. I don't know that it's true, but I may be the youngest member of Mass Senior Action. Lifetime membership. I have a great deal on I'm a lifelong learner. I'm the son of inmigrantes from the Dominican. My father was in the military, and my mother was a social worker at Union Hospital, for anyone who visited back there. My family's been here since the 1970s, and I was born when my father was in the military, so I was born on an army base, but otherwise I've lived in Lynn my whole life, so this really is home for me and my family. I also later joined the military. I met my lovely wife, Annalise, and when we went on our first date, she said, you know, where are you going to go back? I said, Lynn. She's like, what's Lynn? I said, that's home. That's my hometown. And so I come back, and I've been here. We own a home here. We have 2 kids, JJ and Annalise. So we're very deeply rooted in Lynn, and we're very invested in what happens here in the city for the long term, for the future, for the rest of our life, for our kids. Some of my experience, I've been very lucky that I've gotten to work at every level of government. I've worked here at the city level. I've gotten to advocate at the state house for housing. I've gotten to work at the federal level as well as a veterans fellow, helping our VA and our seniors who need those services. And I know my first interaction with Mass Senior Action was when you guys were out there defending our VA clinic. So that's meaningful to me and very special, and it's an honor for me to be here, and I look forward to this forum. Thank you so much.
Por favor, ¿podría darnos un breve resumen en español?
Oh, mi nombre es Jean Micheal Fana y gracias.
Okay.
Sí.
Más nada.
Hello, Mass Senior Action, good morning. I want to start by thanking you all for inviting us here tonight, this morning. I appreciate being here. I'm running for re-election. My name is Nicole McClain. I am number 1 on the ballot. And I'm running for re-election because I believe in a land where people can live with dignity at every age, and where people have mobility and access to family and home. And it's very important for our seniors to be able to buy their groceries, be able to get to different places, and be able to walk on our sidewalks. A lot of these things are things that we need to address and make sure that the people in this room are able to age in place and not have to move out of our city because of their income situations. So these are some things that I've advocated for already as your current counselor at large. I have a bachelor's degree in early education, a master's in educational leadership and policy. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. My mom also lives in the city, who is aging here. She's about 67 at this point. So she goes to the senior center and she enjoys being there. I always visit the senior center. I'm here to advocate for our seniors and work together with Mass Senior Action to make sure that we're considering our seniors at the local government level. So thank you so much for having me here today, and please vote for me on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Good morning, everyone. It is so great to be here with all of you. As we kick off this forum, I see a lot of familiar faces, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge one's birthday of your extraordinaire organizer, or organizer extraordinaire, Miss Pam Edwards. So give it up for Pam. I know there's a cake to celebrate her a little later, so that's terrific. So Pam has been around an awful long time with you as a group, and you have been around an awful long time as a powerhouse, robust Lynn and statewide coalition. So you folks have been on the forefront with me personally over the last 10 years. I'm also a lifetime member of Mass Senior Action. I'm proud of the work we've done collectively. What are some of those things we took on at the State House and won, or at the ballot box? Paid family medical leave for our loved ones and ourselves when we need it most. We raised the state minimum wage, so people have $15 minimally an hour, and we're heading to 20 next time. We were also able to get earned sick time for every worker that deserves it in the Commonwealth. And we also taxed those damn greedy millionaires a couple of years back. And we put $2.8 billion back into our tax rolls for education and transportation money. Roads, MBTA, schools, they don't get fixed without those dollars. And I was proud to partner with you, along with what Jean Micheal said at the VA, protesting the potential closure on Boston Street. We've done it all. Next, we're going to go after guilty corporate tax, because as you said, we believe in fair taxation, and those that make a lot ought to pay a lot. So I'm Brian LaPierre, and I appreciate your support the last 10 years, and I look forward to this forum. Thank you.
I do it to be tough.
You can do it, buddy.
Good morning, everyone. Also, I want to thank Pam and the Mass Senior Action for hosting this forum. Pam, we share birthday. Today is my birthday as well. So, I'm so happy to be here, and as you know, I've been here for a long time. I've been in the city for 27 years. I raised my family here. I bought my first home here, and I've been, if you don't know, I've been a councilor for a while. So I love what I do, and for those who don't know me, yes, my name is Hong Net, and I'm running for re-election because I believe that I can focus on the job we do together, and we have done so much together. I want to continue to work with you and with my colleagues at the council, and also with the mayor, to ensure that our city is prosperous and safety for all of us by advocating for funding to fund our public safety, public education, housing, business development, and job creation. And I have 14 years of experience as elected officials, and 30 years of human rights activism, social work, and government leadership. And as your councilor at large, I will continue to work hard to ensure that we all have the voice at City Hall, and I will do everything I can to continue the work that I have been doing. And I will partner with you. I will make sure we continue to build bridges between our diverse community and our civic institution. So once again, I ask for your support, and I look forward to this forum as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Net. If the folks here don't know, the Councilor Net is the dean of our council, and he mentioned that today is his birthday. And being the dean, I thought he would be here in one of his Mass Senior Action blue shirts, because he's almost ready for that. But it's been an honor to serve alongside him and my other colleagues on the City Council. My name's Brian Field, and I am currently in my 4th term as one of your councilors at large. And I think the majority of folks here I know and know me. But so today on my introduction, I want to talk about how I got here. And growing up, I'm a lifelong Lynn resident. I grew up in Ward 1 with my parents and my sister and brother. But I also spent a lot of time in West Lynn with my grandparents. My late grandfather on my mother's side was a retired disabled veteran. He served during World War II and again in Korea, where he lost his leg. And as a young child, I attended St. Michael's Polish Catholic Church in West Lynn on Summer Street, where the former church was on Summer Street. And I spent a lot of weekends at my grandparents' house. to assist them, to mow the lawn, to paint the porch, to enjoy their pool. My grandmother's Polish cooking. And I learned a respect, and that's kind of what has gotten me here. When I drew my number today, I drew number 5. And that's where I am on the ballot this year. And I look at that as a foundation. When you're on the bottom of the ballot, you're the foundation. It's where I've been before, and it's where I build from. And I think anything that's strong and built needs a strong foundation. And folks like Mrs. Noble. She's probably one of the most influential people in my life that has gotten me to where I am today, because I'll tell you a quick story. I know I'm limited on time, but I was always shy when I was younger. And at St. Michael's Church, we had a Christmas pageant every Christmas Eve at the 4 o'clock Mass. And as much as I didn't want to speak, she made me. And one year I got chosen to serve as an altar server. And she said, yep, that's fine, but you're also going to be the narrator. And people like that are where I built my foundation, so thank you.
I thank you, Councilor Field, but I also was ready to give an A to the board for adhering to all the yield minutes.
Pam did say that she used to beat the kid, but she didn't.
Hey, Joan, don't get the brags out yet. We're just
And I
getting started.
did have to sign.
Go ahead, Mattie.
Hey, Mike.
This is 1 minute responses.
The Mass Senior Action Council has been collaborating with the Assessor's Office to reduce property taxes for individuals on fixed incomes. Together, we have worked to broaden and execute abatement programs. However, the Assessor's Office has limitations on what they can manage. We are not opposed to fair taxation. We recognize that our taxes fund numerous essential services we all rely on. The challenge remains, how can we maintain these services without pushing fixed income seniors out of their homes because their assessed value has exceeded their income?
Let's start with Nicole.
Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying I believe our seniors have already invested a lifetime into this city, and they deserve to age in place with stability and dignity. That means keeping housing affordable, making our neighborhoods safer, and ensuring Lynn remains a place where they can live comfortably and connected to their community. We can assist the assessor's office by continuing to allow seniors to volunteer, to abate their taxes. That's a program that that the city has in place, where you could volunteer at places like the library, or you can go to City Hall to volunteer, and you will get a reduction in your taxes. So that programs like that should continue, so that we can continue to support our seniors in that area.
Thank you, Council. I also am a big proponent of any type of senior abatements, and one of the things we did this past year was adopt the HEROES Act locally in our city. This was a statewide initiative, and the HEROES Act has helped veterans remain in their homes. Specifically, it's doubled your property tax abatement, if you will. So at the highest level, folks could save up to $2,500 per year in their property taxes. So I think we need to have the accessibility through the assessor's office and do outreach programs, because not enough people are taking advantage of these programs. They're not taking advantage of Mass Save. They're not taking advantage of what Councilor McClain referred to as a senior abatement program, where you can even go down the senior center to volunteer. You're already down there most of the time anyway. So, you kill two birds with one stone and get a rebate on your taxes. Taxes are high. They don't seem to be coming down. There are ways around it. You just have to navigate the system, and I'm happy to help you with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. So we recently just passed increased the abatement for tax abatement for a senior to $1,500. So it is not enough. I know that our senior needs more, because they have been working so hard for all their life, and they can't keep up their properties. And especially for the senior who are on a budget. So I feel that we should put money aside to help them to pay for rent, because they cannot afford to pay 30 or 40% of what they earn from their income. So there's a program we should be looking to it, and I will continue to work with our state delegation, get some funding aside to help our seniors, to help them to pay for the rents, because they need the money to enjoy themselves in the meantime. And that's very important. And because I have an elderly father-in-law who lives with me, I understand how struggle he goes through, and so we need every possible way to help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Yes, it's your advocacy that we support that has always helped. You're there every step of the way. This is another bump in the road, as I see it, that what we can do legally with the assessor's office to support you, we always have done. This council has been very supportive of seniors since I've been on, as far as, over the last 8 years. I know we work together. We're here to listen. We're all members of Mass Senior Action Council. We follow the newsletter. We follow what you're advocating for. We support you every step of the way. We see you at our council meetings. We hear you at our council meetings, but not just us. It's the other departments that are hearing you, and they hear from us. We advocate for you. We know how the struggles are. We know the cost of living is high. We know the challenges that you face being on a budgeted income. And we are going to be there someday. So we're learning from you. We're leading with you. And anything that we can do with the assessor's office to help, we have done, and we'll continue to do so together, because that's what is important in the city. Our seniors are just as important as everyone else, and we're here to help. Thank you.
I think the senior tax abatement is a very important question. I can remember distinctly mi abuela se vendía la casa porque ella no pudo pagar por eso. My grandmother had to sell her home for the same reason. I was in the mayor's office in 2022, 2022, when the assessor brought forward this tax abatement idea. And I remember when he spoke about it, he had mentioned how many people would impact and how many people could benefit. I do think that there's more to do on outreach, mass save, especially with our veterans, especially with our seniors. There aren't enough people on the program, and there is money in that from both the city and the state, and both who qualifies and how much you get. And I think there's more to do to push on that front as well, and we can get it. And we can get it there. Thank you.
High heating and electric bills are a huge burden. Earlier this year, Mass Senior Action met with the Department of Public Utilities to share our concerns. After that meeting, the governor proposed legislation to lower utility costs, but state leadership has not moved it forward. What can we do as a city to help people with this out-of-control cost, especially those who do not qualify for traditional assistance?
Yes, and thank you. And I remember very vividly, the group of us were at City Council chambers when we had National grilling National Grid, if you will, in the hot seat to ask how this happened. And I'm afraid of a repeat this year. I really am. $25 or $50 is not good enough in terms of what they're giving you back based on all the kilowatts, all the usage. It's a fraction. Our bills are $300, $400, $600, sometimes $900 a month in the winter months. And I've heard from constituents across the city, this is a major problem, it's a major monopoly. We need our own power system here, like Peabody and other communities, because National Grid is taking huge advantage of us as a client. And it's gotta stop. And I'm so proud of you folks that filled that chamber that afternoon and had us ask the tough questions of them. Because they're going to hear from us time and time again, because guess what? We're not going away, and I know you just don't take it, you take charge.
Yes, we're not going to give up. We'll continue to call to the council, and also we will continue to push our state delegation to move, make it tougher on them. So they have more power than us. So, but we will do our part as well, and it is outrageous. We cannot afford to see this keep going on, because it affects everybody, not just individual group. It affects everybody across the city, and we're going to find additional resources to to substitute them eventually. But right now, we have to depend on, because there's no one else we can look to right now. So we're going to continue working hard and with the mayor and state delegation to put them accountable. So they need to take hold accountable for what they do, because it's affect our lives. So thank you very much for that question. And LaPierre is right. So we're going to do our best we can, right?
Always. Thank you for the question. Like Councilor LaPierre said, we advocated on your behalf. We remember you being there. We remember grilling National Grid as to why utility bills have almost doubled in 1 year. We look at the reasoning for it, and we look at this Mass Save program that these higher bills are funding. The Mass Save program, where communities like Lynn, urban communities like Lynn, aren't benefiting as much as we're putting in. Like Councilor LaPierre said, we should have our own energy grid, our own delivery services. I heard on the news last night with the governor speaking on behalf of this and doesn't want to repeat this upcoming season, is trying to get ahead of it. And the response from the utility company was, we don't control the delivery fee and we don't control the usage. To me, that's a really sad explanation of what they're doing to the customers. And especially, like I said, communities like Lynn that aren't benefiting as much as we're putting in. We need to be able to see those resources come back into Mass Save to protect, to serve the people that are putting in the funding that need it, to lower these energy costs for everybody across the board. And until we see that, our utility bill shouldn't be spread out over the summer months just to cover the entire cost. The 12 months are still the same total if they're charging it in 3 months. It doesn't matter if they're spreading it out over 12. It's the same amount of money and it's the same budget that we're all living on.
I can tell you as a homeowner with a young family, little kids, that the increase in electric and heating was not a welcome one. And we have enough to pay for with diapers and daycare. There are a couple of things here. I want to say I do like the mention here from some of the incumbent councilors about some kind of municipal development of some kind of amount of power that can offset some of this cost. In some ways, I do think community choice aggregation is something that we should explore. What that is trying to group together the bulk purchasing power of a single community like Lynn, all the electric bills we pay together, and try to negotiate based on that bulk leverage. All of our bills together is much more negotiating leverage than individually. Some other communities have explored this. I think it would be an option, and so those communities have seen some lower fares. So I think that's something we should explore the viability of here and potentially take advantage of.
Thank you. Hello. So, my answer to this question is that we need to work closer with Mass Senior Action and really advocate on the state level as well for this type of discount and for these bills to get reduced. I mean, we have to be able to work with people that are on the ground, making sure, like this organization, that they are focused on seniors and what needs to be done for seniors. The more we work with organizations like this and bring that organization to the state level, the better off we'll be, because we need to get these folks on the state level to understand what we are going through locally so that they can address these issues. So I'm willing to pair with Mass Senior Action any way that I can in order to address these issues with utilities.
What is the city's plan to protect residents from the unmasked kidnappers known as ICE?
It is a rare touching issue right now. Everybody feels scared, especially the newcomers. Even if they're here legally, they feel afraid. It's impacted families a lot. And yes, I'm glad that we are working with our police department to protect our residents, which means that we will not cooperate with the ICE because they're not here for a good reason. They're here to break us apart and to scare us. So yes, our police department doing a great job, not work with them. And so I have been working with the police department, invited the chief to the adult day health center a few times to educate our residents as well. So I've been doing that. Also, I raised some money to pay for lawyers who needed to protect our residents who being deported. So I have been working on that quite some times, and I will continue to do the best I can, and I will try to communicate with our police officer as more regularly to make sure our residents feel safe and be protected.
Thank you for the question. Watching the news yesterday, I saw some past leaders that were in immigration and custom enforcement, and what they said was how nowadays it's not like it used to be. And this was just back a few years, a few terms under other presidencies. So one thing that's most important is elections matter. And nobody should be surprised that this is happening. This is what the current administration campaigned on. This is what they're following through with to have their base smile on TV when they're standing outside immigration facilities, as families are pleading with them to support them, to help them through the immigration process. You see this administration laughing at them. They're at the butt of jokes. I don't think anything is funny about it. It's scaring families. It's upsetting families. Every family here in the United States is an immigrant family, unless you're an indigenous person with Native American heritage. Everyone here is an
This issue touches close to home for me. Yo tiene mucho familia y gente que yo conoce que esto es impacto. There's a lot of family and friends of mine that are directly impacted by this issue. I do believe they are masked kidnappers, and their goal is merely to divide a working class community along lines of legal status. This is not a new thing. They're here to divide. I do believe the city needs to take the position and continually take the position of maximum non-compliance. Maximum non-compliance. I'm not saying we're going to break the law. We have to stay within the law, but the maximum non-compliance, and even though we're facing, the federal government, there are limitations to how far you can go, but the moral leadership of character that comes from our city, I think, is important, and letting people know that they are safe, that they're in a community of people that care about them, and we're not going to let people break up our faith communities, our families, our businesses. It's not going to happen out here.
So my stance on ICE is that ICE is unlawful. What they're doing is wrong. How they're breaking up families is incorrect on all levels. And they're not after criminals. That has been proven. If they were after criminals, people like Mattie, who was apprehended, would not be apprehended. He was passing out food. He was doing his due diligence. He was being a good citizen in our country. People like Sylvia's husband, who was taken away from her family, and she is a pregnant woman. These types of apprehensions are proof positive that ICE is not here to support or to, create any type of safety or, security on any level in any part of our country. So we will continue to take a stand against ICE as a city. As the other councilor said, by being non-compliant, our police officers are not complying with them. We are not here to, compromise the safety of our residents. We are standing with the immigrant community on every aspect, and we want to see our community stay safe by being secure locally. Thank you.
This is a question where I could have a 10-minute response, honestly, and I know I only have a minute. So I want to first say I echo my colleagues, we're on the same page on this. ICE doesn't belong in our city. It certainly doesn't belong in Boston, doesn't even belong in the state, in my estimation. What they're doing is criminal. And ICE agents have a terrible track record, as Councilor McClain pointed out. They're picking up people that are citizens. They're picking up people with legal documentation to be here. So they're hiding in us, they're stalking folks in our Pine Grove Cemetery. They are present. Police are not helping them at all advance their agenda. We are living in an authoritarian state, folks. And we know we are a target by this federal administration. It happened in LA, it's happening in Chicago, it could happen in Massachusetts. So be vigilant, we have to know our rights, we have to protect our children, protect our school grounds, our schoolyards, and know that we are gonna stand firm, and ICE is not welcomed here in our city, unequivocally, never, non-debatable. Thank you.
The city implemented a public comment period at city council meetings for the first time. We have two questions. Would you support extending the 15-minute limit? And the second part of the question is, would you support additional days to hear from the community at city council meetings?
Great question. Yes, absolutely. I think the first one that we had just 2 weeks ago went well, and I think all of us would be unanimous in supporting an extended period of time. I know there are limitations because of our subcommittee meetings that are important as well, but we always like hearing from the community because as elected officials, it's the voters that we serve. We serve you. We're not here to serve ourselves, and if you don't feel like you're being listened to, I know on my card, that's my cell phone number. Okay, everybody has my cell phone number. If you need to reach me, I always ask that you don't text me after midnight. But as a funeral director, I'm used to getting woken up all hours of the evening. So if you do need to reach me for an emergency and it's city related after midnight, my family's supportive of that. They understand. That's my profession. That's our position as elected officials. We're here to serve you. So your voice does matter, and don't think it doesn't. And just because right now it's limited to the 3 minutes for 5 people, we're all on board to hear you every single time you want to speak and share your ideas and concerns.
Thank you. I certainly would support additional time or additional days. I know it's done differently in other communities where it's just a period before every meeting. And perhaps you could format it differently to allow maybe more chances for different people to speak. I think it also speaks to accessibility and ways to interact with your local government generally. This is one of them. A lot of people can't make it to the meetings, so I think use of other channels to make it easier to submit comment. You know, you can always submit written comment. Maybe there could be a new way to make that easier, as well as, you know, even just knowing when the meetings are, what's on the agenda. There are traditional ways that information gets shared out. I think there are newer ways coming out all the time that can be accessible to more people to share that even broader. So I do certainly support that, and I would support even exploring more additional ways to make accessibility more common and easier to do throughout the government.
I do believe that leadership begins with listening. So if there's a way to, when we're all here, because we want to hear from you and we want to represent you and we want your voices to be heard at the table. So if there's a way to extend that period or to make it more accessible, I mean, I'm all for that. The Lynn Community Television also records all of our meetings. And there is a way to submit written comment. If you email our secretary, Terry Young, she will, you know, say what needs to be said by you on the at each meeting. So and as far as increasing the days, I'm also open to that. As Mattie said, this is the first time something like this has been done in our city. So starting it off slow and small is understandable, but expanding upon that great foundation is something that I'm definitely open to as a counselor at large.
Thank you, Councilor. And I also agree that if time is needed, extra time during public comment, I'm absolutely in favor of that as well. But I will say this, we need to come out of City Hall. We need to meet you where you are. We are always visible in our community, whether it's social media, whether it's events, whether it's park cleanups. Recently in September, we had the Lynn Side Out event where the Lynn City Council hosted, you know, City Hall coming out into the community, so to speak. And I saw many of you there as well. But we were tabling there as well for all the resources, city resources. Echoing Councilor Field, I have my palm card that I put my personal cell phone at the bottom and my campaign email, so that's contact information for you. and I beat him at this because you can actually tear mine. It's perforated, and put it in your pocket or on the fridge in time of need. And I might not answer after midnight either, but call him after midnight. I'll take you on from, normal business hours and then some. But, and on my social media is on the back as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I am in favor of extending time for our speakers at council. It went well first time, but yeah, so we can do it more often, so I don't mind. So every meeting we can have them come to speak, but also there must be action to it too. Not just listen to them. We have to do everything that just give us the reason why we should help you to take action. But give us a call after the meeting. Give us a call, or text us, or send us an email, whatever. So go to Terry, see what we can do to help. So I know that first time went well, but it's not enough. So we didn't have a chance to help them directly yet. So I got some call as well, but I was able to answer some questions. Hopefully we can do more of that. So yeah, I am in favor of extending time for them to speak. Thank you.
Mass Senior Action Council is collaborating with statewide partners to present a proposal aimed at stabilizing rents for the 2026 ballot, allowing voters to have a say on housing costs. Do you support rent control legislation?
Thank you. I do support rent control legislation. I do believe it is, when it was removed even in the 90s, the communities that had it did support it at the time. I believe that was not for no mistake. It's not a final solution to the housing crisis, and I recognize that as well for people who don't think it is. However, I think it is. There are very real symptoms of people who are being priced out of rent against their will. They don't want to leave, but they have to leave because the price is getting raised. And we have to be able to support them and protect them while we can build more units on the other side. And rent control would be the direct way to alleviate that pain. So I think it is necessary. I think it's something we should absolutely support and that we should have here in the city of Lynn.
I am a huge supporter of rent control. I was one of the first councilors to sign on the rent control, give my signature in support of rent control. So this is something that is near to my heart. We worked with Lynn United for Change to help residents stay in their homes. There were some residents on the Common that were at the threat of their rent getting increased, and me and my colleagues were able to intervene by signing a letter of support to help them stay in their homes. So this is something that I have been actively working to support and will continue to support, making sure that the tenants in our city are not being priced out of their homes.
Thank you, Councilor. I've worked with you folks on this issue for many sessions now up in Beacon Hill in Boston, and it's not going anywhere. So we had no choice but to take this thing to the ballot. So we're taking it to the streets, and we will know for sure who's in favor of rent control come next November. But a lot of work has to be done to get there. We need signatures, folks. I was at your kickoff. I had the honor of speaking on this ballot initiative. I shouldn't say your kickoff, but you were participating as a coalition partner in that kickoff in Frederick Douglass Park recently. I've testified at the State House on your behalf on this critical issue. I want to, in the next term, pass this through the Lynn City Council so we get it on to Mayor Nicholson and get his signature so we can finally have some teeth in the state law of rent control for our city. Just give us the local option so we can bring the margins, the profit margins of the owners, the landowners and the developers into a line that makes sense. No one's gonna lose money. They already make great profit. It's to help rent stabilization for our residents. Thank you.
After 30 years, rent control need to be revisited, but that be from the state level. So we will continue to work with our state delegation to push this through, but we do what we can. And I know that rent control is good for many of residents in the city because a lot of people got pushed out because of the skyrocketing of the rent of people. I mean, the landlord just keep jack up their rent as unreasonable. And they, like Brian said, they made tons of money already. So there's no reason for them not to pass this. So yeah, go to the November ballot. That's let the people make decision. But we will continue to push them to advocate, to lobby, to make sure that this is give a clear message to the people of why they should vote for rent control. Thank you.
I think during your earlier meeting, I heard Pam say that Social Security increase was 2.8% this year. Is that correct, Pam? Yeah, 2.8%, and we're looking at rents going up 5, 10, sometimes 15, even more percentage-wise. Those numbers just don't add up for residents in our city. Those numbers are astronomical. When you look at that, and your stomach just sinks. What's even more disappointing is that the state hasn't taken this up, that it has to be a ballot initiative. That's disappointing for our local area. I was one of the first to sign on. I'm happy to sign on. I've always supported rent control here in the city. I looked at the people. That's what the best part about our city are the residents. We always come together, whether it's a good time or a not so good time. We're always there to support one another, and this is another way that we can look outside of our own families and look at the families that are living next door, just down the street or around the corner. And everybody in the city should be stepping up to support rent control so that we can all continue to support one another.
Somerville addressed senior renters being displaced by rising rents through a state-funded initiative called the Older Adults Bridge Program. This program aims to provide financial and social services to low-income seniors at the risk of homelessness while they await subsidized housing. Bossing is now exploring a similar initiative. Currently, more than a third of senior households in Massachusetts are struggling to maintain their housing. The projected homelessness rate among seniors in the state is expected to triple in just 5 years. The demand for subsidized housing is significant, with many seniors in Lynn waiting for over 4 years. What is the city's plans for the housing crisis?
As costs rise, too many seniors are being priced out of their homes. I support measures that protect long-term residents, whether that's through property tax relief, affordable housing development, or ensuring landlords treat our elders fairly. I believe that the city of Lynn is, through their rent control efforts and our grassroots organizations like Neighbor to Neighbor and Lynn United for Change, are trying to better support our seniors and all residents when it comes to housing stability. It's very important that we continue to work with these groups and continue to advocate to the state level about housing. It's something that we at the local level are not as able to control, but we can work with the people to make sure it becomes an issue that is, less heavy on our residents. So I advocate, and I will continue to advocate to help support our seniors.
Thank you, Councilor.
First, I want to say I do want to do research on the state program you referred to, or the bridge program, because I think what happens in Somerville and Boston can happen in Lynn as well. We're usually following the Springfields or leading actually, and then Worcester and Springfield will follow suit as well. So I do want to look into that, because if there is a benefit to that, we need to do that. I know our Lynn Housing does a terrific job, as good of a job they can with the units that they have. But I get calls all the time about, I've been on this list 4 years, Brian. I've been on this list 6 years. I'm still waiting. Some of them are private, but some of them are public as well. So I think our charge is to, as my colleague Councilor McClain just denoted, that we've done a lot on housing with ARPA money, with the Housing Inclusionary Zoning, with the Housing Trust Act. We have done increase of RAF for tenants, which is increasing of the monies and the vouchers for rent. But all of these things are drying up in a federal administration that is not the same. as what we went through COVID and the Biden administration. So the resources at the federal level are drying up, and we have to rely on ourselves locally and with help from the state as well. Thank you.
I agree, the Lynn Housing working really hard and they do the best they can, and they have to do a great job of building new homes for our low-income residents. And I have been working with several developers. They promised me, they said they will come to Lynn to build housing for low-income residents, also affordable unit as well. And so right now, we got continue working with the Lynn Housing Authority to ensure that they have the right to come to our city and start to build affordable housing for low-income families. So look forward to continue to do that with them. And I cannot give you the names yet, but I'm working on it right now. And I understand that, yeah, our residents really struggle. And so our job is to do the best we can to make sure that our city can keep our residents here. We don't want them to go anywhere. We don't want them to move because they've been here for so long. We don't want them to leave their friends, their families, their neighbors. So yes, so thank you for the question. That's a great question. That's what we're gonna do.
Just last week, we had a forum on Lynn Community Television, and I talked about not just our records that we run on, but on our results. And Councilor LaPierre and Councilor McClain, Councilor Net and I, working together as councilors at large, have supported these types of initiatives. Certainly, we'll look into what Somerville's doing and see if it has a benefit to Lynn. But things like the housing production plan, where we make sure any new development, commercial development, or large-scale development rather, has an affordable component. Not only that, but the repurposing of the former Union Hospital on Linfield Street and the repurposing of the old Eastern Junior High Marshall Middle School, those are both going to be affordable senior housing because we hear you. We don't just say we hear you, but these are our results. This is the council that you elected to serve you, and those results matter. And we're showing you that we do hear you and that our votes that we take have supported you. Those grounds haven't broken yet because of those grants that are challenging, but those are the votes that we're taking to support those initiatives.
I'd be very interested as well to learn more about this older adults bridge program. That time waiting to get into subsidized housing is a very precarious time, and I will be honest, from what I can see, the future of that is currently bleak. There's less funding going in. Some of these lists are not only is it hard for these lists to move, some of these lists are not moving, where there's nobody getting into a new home yet. And we have an increasing senior population. There's going to be more demand for services, housing, food, costs of all kinds. I do believe that we are actually at the beginning of this issue, and it is. I would love to explore this program, but I think it's an issue we have to pin at the top because it's going to be something that's going to continually affect us for decades to come. And helping our seniors with costs on all fronts, I think, is part of that. The food aid as well. I think it's been important since COVID that grew and it's only increased and stayed. And we do need a partner as well with our local nonprofit because I think it's going to be an all hands on deck effort to make sure that our seniors live with dignity. Thank you.
Thank you for your time to everybody today. We're going to go move on to the 1 minute closing remark. You got that, timers? 1 minute closing remark from each one.
Well, thank you everyone for your time here at this forum. Thank you as well to our counselors for coming and sitting here. I really appreciate your focus. I am Jean Micheal Fana. I'm number 3 on the ballot. I am the only challenging candidate. I would be the youngest counselor by a respectable number of years, which I will not reveal. But I do really care about this. I think we all really do. We all are invested here. We all want the best outcome for each other. I'm asking for one of your votes, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Again, thank you to Mass Senior Action for hosting this forum. Thank you, Pam, and happy birthday. My name is Nicole McClain. I am the first Black woman to be elected to this seat as Councilor at Large. I am a veteran, I am a mother and an educator. I am very qualified to continue, and I hope you will re-elect me on November 4th. Please check out my social media. I'm at Councilwoman McClain on Instagram. I am at Nicole Councilor at Large on Facebook, and I also have a website, NicoleForLynn.com. Learn more about what I've done and what I will continue to do for all the residents of Lynn. Vote November 4th, number 1 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. I'm Brian LaPierre, and you've supported me for the last decade, and I can't believe the time has gone by. And we have great candidates here, but also great elected officials that you've elected over this time. If you want to continue to have an effective voice who delivers results for Lynners, I'm your guy. I am a person who listens, I learn, I lead every day. I like to think that I deliver meaningful and impactful city government services to those in need. One of the things I pride myself is as an effective leader, I can work with colleagues, I can work with ward councilors, I work well with the mayor. We are a team. And some of the things we've done was improve the lives of senior citizens and veterans. We have responsible waterfront development, working closely with City Councilor Fred Hogan. I'm a strong advocate for the overcrowding of our classrooms in our Lynn Public Schools. We've solved that crisis. I support public safety. I've added police officers and firefighters to our ranks by approving city budgets on time, and I regularly attend neighborhood meetings throughout our city. I'm available to meet with any one of you. Thank you for your time. Vote LaPierre, November 4th. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Pam, and thank you, Pam, and Mass Senior Action again for having us here today. I believe we have done a lot together for the past 14 years. We built new schools, we built new parks, we built playground, we brought YMCA to Lynn, we brought Market Basket to Lynn, and so many projects we brought to the city of Lynn, and our road expands. But work's not done yet. I want to continue to represent you as fairly as possible. I believe I have done a great job. I believe I represent you fairly. I want to make sure that your voice coming to be heard in City Hall, so all of us can be a part of the decision making, because the city belongs to us. We want to be make sure our families stay safe and prosperous together in the city. And you can check out my website. You want to learn more about me, wardhong.net, and you learn a lot about me. And also, once again, I respectfully ask for one of your 4 votes on November 4th and number 2 on the ballots. Thank you so much for that.
8 years ago, when I was first elected to the city council, the city was facing a $14.5 million deficit. And there were challenges that we had to face right up front before we could move forward, and we've done that. And I've talked about the results, because that's what really matters, results. And what we've done for seniors and for the entire city over the past 8 years that I've been on the council speaks to that. We've mentioned affordable senior housing. We talk about the senior center that we helped for many seniors in the city to enjoy. We're building on that. We're building on affordable housing. We're building on workers' rights. We're building new school. We're improving the schools that we have. These are improvements that we're making through challenging times, from the national level to here. I have the support of my family. I have the support of my staff at the funeral home that I've served many families over the last 30 years. I need your support again so that I can continue doing the work to provide those results that I've mentioned, that we work hard for you. On November 4th, I ask us to receive one of your 4 votes again for Councilor at Large, and I promise to continue to serve you. Thank you.
All right, let's have one more hand for our Ambassador Mattie and our timekeepers and all the candidates that came to talk to us today. Thank you to LCTV for always covering the best on our community and sharing that throughout.